For the longest time, people told me that my issue is because I'm just not tight enough. Today, I put that infamous phrase to the test. Is tight actually right? Will playing the top 5% of hands actually lead to a more profitable session? Today, we find out. Well, first things first, we have got to set some ground rules. What the hell are the top 5% of poker hands? And secondly, what the average length of a poker session is for the average player. To figure out the top 5% of hands, we're going to use ChatGPT. What are the top 5% of pre-flop poker hands? Okay, so we have pocket aces, kings, queens, ace king suited, jacks, tens, ace queen suited, and ace king offsuit. Maybe we add a few hands to this to get us 10 hands that we can play, but I think that's a pretty good start. All right, next let's ask some of our closer friends in poker what their average sessions look like. Hello?
What's up, brother?
One question for my video today, sir. What do you think the average cash game session, like hours, are?
Like 4 to 6.
4 to 6. Thank you very much.
Yo.
The average poker session length of time for a cash game, what do you think it is?
For me, 2 to 3 hours.
Awesome. Thank you very much.
Yeah, maybe longer. All right.
Well, we've got the answer now. We have 4.5 hours to play poker and only 10 hands to do it with. Can we make money or will we lose it? Let's go find out. The game is 5-5, no limit Texas Hold'em. The max bind is $500, and this first table that we're sitting at is already off the rails. I can tell you, I'm already getting a little bummed out that I won't have the wide array of poker hands that I'll be usually playing, but the top 5% will have to do just fine. To make things super easy for y'all to follow, I have the little timestamp here letting you know at what point this hand went down, as well as how many hands have been played. This first hand is about 8 minutes into the session, and only 5 hands have been dealt, and we're already getting off the beaten path. We have a razor to 15, someone calls from the cutoff, I'm on the button with king, queen of diamonds. I promise you that's not how today's session is going to go. I'm going to do my best to keep the top 5% of hands in play only, but I promise you every single hand I play in the session I want to include, and that's the point of the video at least. So I make the call with king, queen, and we're going off, I think, 4 ways to a flop on the big blind calls where we end up whiffing the board. Action checks the cutoff who bets. I don't have anything here. I'm going to go ahead and fold even though I have a couple of backdoor draws, but we're trying to play fairly tight. Everyone else folds and we lose our first hand, and just like that, we're down a couple of bucks early on. Like I said, we'll tighten things up. The ship will hopefully be on course. Although I couldn't help myself in the last hand, I will definitely do so on the following hand. I looked down at ace queen suited from under the gun. This is exactly at the bottom of our opening range here, so I'm going to go ahead and raise it. I make it $20 to go. We get a couple of callers here, and then the action is now on the big blind. He takes his time, and when he takes his time, I realize pretty quickly that he's going to be doing something a little mischievous. He's going to go ahead and 3-bet. He makes it 125 in my face. I'm now kind of in between a crossroads. I can very easily make the call here and play this hand in position. But the problem I'm having is that in a game like this, people are super passive, and the last thing I want to do is go 4 or 5 ways to a flop with a hand as reasonable as ace queen suited. The one thing that's constantly kind of nipping at me from the back of the head is that I'm not going to be playing too many hands. So when I do finally pick up a good hand, I think against a player that's clearly drunk and has been showing literally the worst hands I've possibly seen at Showdown, I'm just gonna go all in for value. I mean, maybe it seems a little thin and maybe it goes kind of against what we're trying to do here, but I'm trying to make the most money I can. I think I have the best hand right now, and I don't want to take this hand multi-way. I think that'd be a disaster, so I go ahead and just ship it all in here. I say F you and your 3-bet. I make it like 460 to go. Action folds back to this player, and he thinks for quite some time. I'm now very confident I have the best hand, and at worst, I'm going to be probably up against a lower pocket pair that I'm just happy to be flipping with sometimes. Eventually, he does make the call, and the flop comes out Jack 10 9 with the Jack 10 of hearts. We flop ourselves 2 overs, the nut flush draw, and a straight flush draw, baby. Let's go. Turns a deuce, though, and the river is a brick. We do not improve. I show down my hand, and my opponent sheepishly shows ace deuce. Holy fuck. God, I thought it's been so long since I've played poker. I thought I left like the run bad behind. Holy shit, what am I supposed to do? We got him to call off really weak. Unfortunately, we couldn't win this one round, but there goes bullet number 1. What if I told you you had a chance to play a $5 million tournament held this year in Vegas in December for free? This is your chance with the wonderful partnership we have with Club WPT, a brand new site that's being launched. You have a chance of winning a golden ticket to head over to the WPT, which will be held at the Wynn this year. In just a few months, you will have an opportunity of a lifetime. Yes, Close to Broke is obviously a smaller channel, meaning less people will enter using code C2B, which means you have a higher chance of getting in there. So if you haven't already, click the link. One of very few of you will have a chance at going to play this summer. That's the spiel for me. Let's get back to this riveting content. Yeah. Good luck, guys. I hope to see you guys there. Look, I'm here to prove a point that just by tightening up, we can probably win some decent money, especially in your local 5-5 casino. Although things didn't pan out in that last hand, I don't regret anything I did, and we clearly got called by something worse, so sometimes the luck of the draw is just not on your side. In this following hand, once again, we slightly go off the beaten path, but I think you guys will understand. Over 30 minutes have gone by since the last hand where we got stacked, so I'm getting pretty bored at this point, and to be honest, I think most of the people at my table pretty much see me as being fairly tight. I'm going to use that to my advantage in this next hand when there's a couple of limps when it gets to me on the button and I look down at ace-5 of diamonds. This is a spot where 99% of the time I'd be isolating. I can actually say 100% of the time, but considering I want to do my best to play somewhat amongst the rules here, I'm just going to call. This is clearly not in the top 5% of poker holdings pre-flop, but with the hand as good as this and considering I'm on the button at the very least, I feel like limping is a decent way in the middle for us to see it. The principle of this video is just showing that playing fairly passive and pretty aggressive when you have good holdings is not a bad idea, but either way, we're going off to a flop, I think 4 ways after the small blind and the big blind come along, and we flop trips. Ace, ace, 9. Really good flop for us. Action checks to me on the button, and I'm gonna go ahead and throw out a c-bet of $5. Pretty shitty when the small blind and the big blind fold, but luckily enough, we do have one caller going to a turn card that now comes a 7 of hearts. Not great because it does bring in that front door flush, but when the opponent checks to me, I just gotta keep betting. I gotta start betting and making the money that I've lost back, so I make it 15, and once again, he calls. The river card comes out the 7 of clubs. We now improve to a boat, which is a whole lot of pretty much worthless. This pot is not very big, but when he checks it over to me, I've got to make it slightly bigger. I realize that going big here is something that I usually do, but for the sake of me just trying to win a little bit of money, I only throw a small bet of 20 bucks out there. I don't know, this is what, like half the size of the pot or even less. Begging for a call here, I'm crying for it. Maybe, I don't know, a 9 gets sticky, but he realizes that that's a bad idea and folds. Yeah, it's going to be really hard getting some money in the middle, especially with this table, so we might be due for a table change. By now, it's a 7:15. Not a lot has gone my way, and I'm actually down nearly $500. But when you are feeling your worst, what can you always depend on? Pocket fucking key runs. The pocket cowboys have come to save the day, and even better yet, the button and the cutoff are putting money in the middle for whatever reason. The small blind comes along as well, and with over $45 or $50 in the middle, dead and ready for me to take, we got pocket key runs. We're gonna raise. I make it $110 to go. Again, it's very simple. We got to make it big when we have value hands because we are not going to get that many value hands. We got to take advantage. Slightly exploitative for sure, but our goal is to get money in the middle. Everyone folds though. They just fold because it's that easy. When you're playing tight, people probably realize it and they're going to adjust their game styles to you. To be fair, the drunk guy that took all my money with the ace deuce, he's kind of tightened up a bit since I gave him all that money and then somebody else dusted to him. So now he was the drunk loose cannon that's now pretty much gotten fully unstuck. So he's not as crazy. Yeah, it's probably time that we get that table change.
We're currently getting destroyed. Not destroyed. I think we're still down the 1 buy-in. We went to a new table with our boy AB. We haven't played a hand at the new table. 2 hours in, nothing to report.
Yes, 820. You can see that right up here. That's not wrong. It's been an hour since the last hand I've played, and at this point, I'm gonna be honest, I'm pretty fucking bored. I'm not feeling too excited about playing the game of poker, but I'm here and I've set a challenge. I've set the task, guys, and I'm gonna stick to it. I'm an honorable man, kind of. Middle position raises. He's definitely been one of the action players of the game, Mr. JT. He makes it 35. Action folds to me in the big blind. The action's on us, heads up. I'm gonna stick in this $30 more to call with queen 9 of clubs. I don't love it, and again, I understand that it's not a part of the challenge, but who fucking cares? We haven't played a hand in the hour. Give give me a break. I'm pretty happy we called. The flop comes out queen 10-9, giving me 2 pair, but there's only 1 suit out there, and that's the suit that I do not contain. I check it over to my opponent, probably gonna check raise because it's a super wet board texture, but he checks it back. The turn card's about as bad as it gets. It puts 4 to a straight flush out there. I check it to my opponent. He throws out a bet. I can't even fold fast enough. I'm super tilted at this point because I feel so constricted. I feel like I'm wearing a straitjacket and I don't know what the hell to do. Like, I can't play any hands. I can't make any hands. And when I do make hands, I'm getting freaking destroyed by the deck. Okay, I played a few hands that are outside of the top 5% of holdings, but what I will say is that I haven't ventured too far off. Within the respects and the confines of the game, I think I've done a good job of really keeping my wits about me. Although I'm stuck, and it could be really easy for me to just kind of blow a gasket at this point.
Danny has no comeback.
You know how painful it is to be in a game this good and fucking hold ace jack under the gun? Are you fucking kidding me? Sitting here folding pocket pairs down $1,500 is so demoralizing. Oh. Just because I know people are going to be like, oh, you're not even... No, I am. I'm taking the thing serious. Under the gun, pocket 9, short-handed, fold. Fuck my life.
I've folded some really big hands pre-flop, and you guys have seen that in these little testimonials, I guess. You know, whatever you want to call them. Yeah, either way, we have some more hands to go over, and this next hand is a freaking banger. About 30 minutes have gone by, and I'm sitting on a small stack of about 420 bucks. That is less than 100 big blinds, but hopefully that'll allow me to get it all in and hopefully get called a little easier now that I'm only going all in with value. But I don't want to get ahead of myself. Early position makes it like 25. There's 2 calls, and the action's on me in the small blind. We look down at big friggin' slake, baby. Ace king suited. This is not rocket science, ladies and gentlemen. The alarm bells are going off in my head. Wee, wee. It's time to ship it all in. It's just all in. Just take all of my money, sir. Right there. $420 to your face, buddy. I'm all in. Yeah, kind of a massive overjam, but the guy in the big blind is been massive action and been doing a lot of calling all ins. And our freaking homeboy JT, who's playing, who just raised $25 under the gun, he has not folded a single hand yet. He's playing 100% VPIP. So when you got the action players in the game and you got a good hand, I think you just got to run it. So I go all in for 420, and look and behold, both the big blind and JT make the call. There's over $1,500 in the middle, and both of my opponents say they don't have very good hands. That is music. You can hear it. You can be quiet. To my ears, ladies and gentlemen. Ace king, one time for all the money. Dealer, please. Can you put out an ace or a king? Maybe jack high flop. It's all right. Maybe on the turn, dealer on the... Come on. Just wanted to make it. You just wanted to bring the suspense, you know? I realize that you just want to bring the suspense, dealer. Come on. Just on the river, though. Not a... You didn't hear me? You didn't want to put on the river either? You said put a... You thought I said put a deuce on the river? No, I said ace or king on... Yeah, ace or king on the river. Yeah, that's not an ace or a king. No. Yeah, we lose to pocket sevens. Yeah. I guess for this to work, we're going to have to hit some boards. Yeah, probably. Maybe next time I just play like pocket aces only. Let's see. Maybe we might actually still lose money in that game. Who knows? Because I can't fucking buy a win, obviously. Holy shit. Well, I've had some time to unwind. It's been 30 minutes since that last hand, so that bad energy is behind us. It's way over there somewhere. We're looking to the future. We're looking for some significantly better vibes. In this next hand, we've got all the vibes you're looking for. Sitting on a new stack, our third bind of the day, $480. We've been blinding down slowly. We finally pick up another hand, king, queen of clubs. At this point, I gotta be honest, guys, the game's just too good to just throw away big hands. I get it, this is slightly down on the scale. Maybe this is in the top 7 or 8% of hands, but it's still a really good hand. It's suited. I wouldn't play if it was offsuit, so fuck it. Let's just throw in 20 bucks and see what happens. Yeah, JT, the guy in the last hand who had like queen high and called us, our massive jam, he's like, you know what, dude, screw your 20 bucks. Here's 120 bucks. Action folds back to me, and considering how crazy JT has been today, and considering he literally hasn't folded a hand pre-flop, I don't want to fold, and I don't want to just call, because he's going to do his very best to bluff me off of whatever I have. So although it seems crazy, hear me out. I think going all in is just the best thing to do. Worst case scenario, like, yeah, maybe he's gonna pick up aces. Even the crazy players pick up really good hands now and then. But in reality, I'm gonna jam, and he's either gonna fold because he's just full of it, which he's done a lot today, or like I'm racing with a lot of the hands that he's gonna have, you know? Even pocket jacks we're doing really decent against, and that's really up in his range, whatever the hell that means. So I do something that I wouldn't really recommend, and to be quite frank, is really kind of not in the, you know, gist of the rules for today's challenge, but I've got to make the money back, and clearly I think I'm value jamming. As crazy as it sounds, guys, I promise you, in this specific game with how crazy things have been going, this is kind of a value jam. I go all in for 480 bucks, and JT eventually, after some bribing, does make the call. We're going off to a board that comes out 10-3-3 with 2 clubs. We flop a flush draw, and we don't even have to wait. The flush comes on the turn. JT says he has ace 10, so we're just looking to fade a 10 or a 3 on the river, and when the river comes out a club, there's now 4 clubs on the board. He's mucked his hand, and then he fucking chose the ace 9 offsuit with the ace of clubs. Oh my god. There's 2 hands left in today's session, but the second to last one's a bomb pot. At this point, this table's been crazy. We've actually agreed to play bomb pots every dealer change, $25 in the middle, blind, everyone goes to a flop. We end up with top pair in this spot. Action checks the middle position player who throws out a small bet. When the action folds back to me, there's like, I don't know, 200 some dollars in the middle already. I don't think this is rocket science. I've got top pair with the queen 8 of hearts. I didn't put this money in voluntarily, by the way. This is an agreed to bomb pot, so this is in the gist and in the rules of the game and the integrity of the game. I'm just gonna go all in here and take my showdown value. At this point, I'm on monkey tilt, so if he just has a better hand, like, so be it. Just take me out already. I'm 4 buy-ins deep. I could give 2 freaking shits. Action gets back to him, and he shows the 8 of clubs. That's great. I'm free rolling. So either he has queen 8 as well, or he has a hand like 7-8, and I just have him super crushed, and I need for him to call. After quite a bit of tanking, though, he eventually does make the fold. But that's going to bring us up to right around $700, which now means I'm only stuck $1,300 in this game. And in the last hand of note, we have another action pot against JT. Action folds to him in middle position, and he raises to a large sizing, I think of like 50 bucks or something. Action folds to me in the big blind, and we look down at pocket 6s. Once again, in the integrity of the game, this is not in the top 5% of hands, I'll be fair, but this is the last hand of the session. I've told everyone at the table that the last hand I'd be playing would be in my big blind. The timer is running out. There's like literally a few minutes left in the session, technically. So I want to leave it with the bang. Let's see what happens. I go all in, and JT's right about to fold his not very good hand. And then I end up coming up with a deal. Or we run it for 300 and I leave.
Do you want me to run it for 300?
Do you have a pair?
No.
I have a very low pair.
Do you want me to run it for 300? Or no?
Yeah. Well, as you heard just now, we do a little bit of negotiation, but eventually we agree to running it for $600 in the middle. And after a very clean run out, we ship a pot to save our night, just slightly. Yeah, I won a pot! Let's go! We were down, I think, at our lowest point, like $1,700 or $1,600. So winning up some money back to $1,000, negative on the day. Well, I'm on monkey, giga, super whale, donkey tilt right now, man. I am frustrated as hell. We were just handcuffed the whole night. Obviously, when you only play top 5% of hands, there's not many hands in the first place to play. And the worst part is, the hands that weren't even in the top 5% of holdings, I ended up having to play just because, yeah, one, I was either getting too bored, or just like two, I don't know, pot odds, I don't know. I want to give this shot one more shot, but just in a different context. The troubling thing is I just played in the best fucking game I've played in the last year. One of the best games I've ever played in. Big shout out to JT and Diego, some of the regulars we play with, or that we've seen in some of the private games I've played. So yeah, it's just frustrating. We want to be out there, we want to be battling, and we can't. There's looking down at pocket 9s and having to fold, and I would have scooped a $1,500 pot because we would have got it all in, but I don't know. Lost $1,000 on the day. I guess it's not the end of the world, but I'd really like to try. Like I said, I'd like to give this another chance, but for now, you guys are gonna have to deal with that. Thank you so much for watching. Remember, click the link at the top of the description if you guys want to join me playing at the win for a $5 million prize pool, $1 million to first place. And the best part, like I mentioned, you guys know Close to Broke is a small community, meaning there's a significantly higher chance that one of you will win. Thank you guys again. See you in the next episode. Peace!